Hello and welcome to the Ant-Man channel on this Monday the 4th of February 2013. And before I get into the news, just wanted to share something with you guys. If you guys are out there like to read, there are a couple of websites that I recommend. One is the Alpha Alpha Publishing House at alphapub.com and voiceofelijah.org. These places offer free literature, free booklets that you can either get delivered to your home or that you could open up on either, I think it's like some type of PDF file. You can open it up and read it. And also, there's a VOM, Voice of the Martyrs, if you guys don't know what that is. I just got mine like 2 days ago. This is my Tortured for Christ book. It's free. They send this to your house, and I haven't started reading it yet, but it's pretty good. It looks to be like something that is life-changing to read. Just thought I'd give you my references. I know P.P. Simmons also offers free books about, he has one called The Atheists Are Wrong. I haven't read it, but I'm sure it's good reading. First article I have in front of me here is Author, Good Women Are Hard to Find. Where are the soft feminine creatures that used to care about men? By Drew Zahn. Drew Zahn is a former pastor who cut his editing teeth as a member of the award-winning staff of Leadership, Christianity Today's professional journal for church leaders. He is the editor of 7 books, including movie-based illustrations for preaching and teaching, which sparked his ongoing love affair with film and his weekly WND column, Popcorn and a Worldview. And he writes, "Never mind looking for a good man," says the author of a hot new book being released this week. Good women are the ones who are hard to find. Suzanne Venker, author of The Flip Side of Feminism, is ready to release her new book, How to Choose a Husband and Make Peace with Marriage, and in a new column on WND she explains why the proverbial battle of the sexes needs to be flipped on its head. What I hear from men is that they want to love women, but that women have changed. Venker explains in her column where they wonder are the soft, feminine creatures that used to care about men and treat them with respect. They're gone, she concludes. Today's women are the daughters of committed feminists. They've been raised to shut off their girly side in order to prove something to themselves and the world. Venker asserts that the wave of the sexual revolution has washed away too much. That years of professors, journalists, writers, and TV producers finding humor in barbed lessons and emasculating men to somehow empower women has been a detriment to society and relationships, men and women. You can't disempower one sex to empower the other, she asserts. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't matter how empowered, liberated, or successful women are. Men and women need each other. Mrs. Venker has a good point. She is an author. I've never written a book in my life. But, I don't know if she knows that there is an engineering of, to take apart America. And this is one of the most key components in all of it, because it's like what Hitler said. You get the children, then you get the women, and the men follow. Well, the children of America have been subject to brainwash for the last, 20 years maybe, through television and technology. It was much harder to get us to look at the diversions and all that before, but now with technology, it's all in your face. Yesterday at the Super Bowl, I didn't actually go. I watched it on TV though, but false flag. With the government the way that it is, you guys can never, not expect something to be fishy when it goes on. The NFL is a huge, instrument for the globalists to push stuff. The Mercedes-Benz commercial with, the devil in it, so symbolic. Go look at the Grok's channel. He breaks all the symbolism down. I mean, we all have gifts, and the Grux has a very unique gift, but we all do, and we all need to discover that because we all help each other, expose who has the iron grip here in this country. And it's not through like anything that's legit. It's actually all fraud, and it all has to deal with people that are ignorant and you get government dependent. There's so many people that went to public schools. I mean, look at the halftime show with Beyonce. I made sure I didn't watch it because I knew it was going to be full of, probably like satanic rituals and throwing up Illuminati signs, and Beyonce caused the power surge and made all the power go out. And then my friend made a joke. It wasn't really a good tasted joke. It was a very bad taste joke. He said, "What is it like after the lights turn on?" He's like, "A plane's gonna fly into it now, or what?" And like I couldn't help but laugh, but the truth is that's all staged. That's all meant to happen. And why? Some people say it's to get you used to rolling blackouts, the energy crisis, this and that. Who knows? Venker, a former teacher turned social critic, says she learned her lessons the hard way. Divorced at age 27, a failed marriage forced her to re-examine her attitude and approach to relationships. She's now happily living in the Midwest with her second husband of 15 years and 2 children. Venker faults the sexual revolution and feminist movement of the last 40 years for creating women who believe they don't need men and don't need more from their relationships than sex. Well, yeah, Beyonce knows. Isn't that one of her songs? All the single ladies, whatever. I mean, come on. Divide and conquer, man. It's so bad in this country that it's even in our homes. It's not. I'm not without naming names. The TV and the mainstream media turns you and your entire family against each other, and I know that from a first-hand perspective. My father watches all the mainstream news, and he gets the news filtered from a leftist lens, and it turns us on each other, and that is reality, guys. That is not a joke. I am talking at this level today because I'm trying to make peace here. I'm trying not to get too excited because I know that the truth offends a lot of people when they don't really know the truth or accept it. So I'm trying my best to respect the privacy of the other people that I live with, because I know that I get excited and I yell a lot. And just like the Pharisees that got mad at Jesus for saying all those parables because they felt like that he was talking about them, that's how it is with me. I can't talk about this stuff because it makes them think I'm talking about them, and it's offensive to them. So I've been getting persecuted, and believe me, you guys, persecution does exist here in the United States, only it's not the way it is in communist countries. In communist countries, you cannot practice your faith, or you cannot be free about it. There's some are hostile against it, and some are just reject it and don't care too much. But here, all the mainstream media is turned on Christian morals and ethics because it's all against it. Everything that it is, it's against. It doesn't allow you to honor God. The system does not let you honor God, and you have to go against it to honor God, and it's a shame because the persecution comes through. It's a mental persecution. It's a brainwash. It's like a mockery, and like that's the kind of persecution we get here. Is we get mocked and we get but if God is for me, then who can be against me? Anyway, women lowered their standards, she told WND. They did this by changing the way they approach sex. That's the number one biggest issue. They've lost any sort of reasonable modesty or holding high standards, and having a lot of self-respect in terms of the way they carry themselves and dress and how quickly they have sex. She added, "It's funny, this whole empowerment idea was supposed to make women better and give them greater self-esteem. Empowered is a great word, but it's totally misused by feminists. Sexual empowerment does not mean sleeping around. In fact, the message is quite the opposite. It shows that you don't think very much of yourself, that you don't think you're worthy of waiting for or committing to. Honestly, I think a lot of women I think a lot of women have no idea that that's how it works between women and men, and that their behavior and attitude has driven men into a different direction. But how can women find men who are good husbands, fathers, and providers? Don't look to feminists for the answers, Venker warns, but rather to women who have learned they need their men just as much as their men need them. Men have been hearing for years that women don't need their money. They don't need anything from men, Venker said, so men have just sort of given up. They just stop trying because you don't need their money. You don't need them as husbands, and you're sexually empowered. There's just a whole different set of circumstances that women created, and that's why men are the way they are. The key to finding the right kind of guy, therefore, may be to become the right kind of gal. And that's her article, but I have a couple minutes here to break this down. And Suzanne Venker has a very... She's the only one I hear bringing this subject up. It's a really important subject. I think that a lot of people look to Oprah for for answers, and they look to people who are overly wise in their own understanding, and these people can get you into those types of ideologies of feminism and having to just say who cares about everything. You see how there's a cop out. That's like a cop out. You're copying out of your responsibility to bear children and make a family. Well, a lot of people nowadays, the trendies, because the trendies are the ones that gossip all the trendiness, and they tell each other that marriage is it's stupid, that you're trying to get the government involved to it's stupid. It's the first covenant between a man and a woman from God, and you can't atheists and you guys out there that don't understand anything are saying that it's like slavery. You're trying to bind your wife to you. No, man. You know why you guys think like that? Because you guys think intimacy is just pure raw sex, and it's not. Intimacy is where you connect with the person's soul, man. I mean, if two people are looking for God and they find each other, how intimate would their relationship be? Their foundation is built on something that is real. It is not built on something that is materialistic and shallow and that doesn't offer anything more than what the flesh needs. That's why you have so much divorce nowadays, because we've been taught sex is what it is, and it's not. Why focus so much on sex? Well, because it's put down your throat on the mainstream media so much. When you're a kid, you just start growing up watching this, women acting sleazy and being feminists, pretty much thinking that, copying out, thinking that, I'm empowered, so I could act like a whore all I want. Well, that's exactly the opposite. Just to be honest, without bashing anybody, but a promiscuous chick is a really gross thing to me. I don't like chicks that are falling all over guys and acting like they need to show off and get sexy in front of everyone and try to get all this attention. To me, it's a gross thing. I'm not into it. I'm into women that have some self-respect, that aren't about just their bodies and their beauty, but about their minds and their intelligence and their beliefs. That's the type of people I get attracted to. When I see a woman that understands the Word of God and is beautiful, that woman is to me like a dream girl. I don't see them too often these days, and not all of them are on the same page as I am, but I could absolutely relate to what Suzanne Venker is saying as a man. Why am I single? Because obviously there's nobody that has that type of they're not right-minded about how to go about these things. And to make a good example, instead of just pointing out the problems, let me at least offer some solution. If you want to see what a real woman acts like, go ahead and go open your Bible, open it to the Old Testament, and open it to the book of Esther and the book of Ruth. Those are two brilliantly divinely placed by God, testimonies to what a real empowered woman can do in the world. And that is that is a, absolutely perfect way for you guys to see. I mean, the two women in the Old Testament that have their own books, man. Those are the type of women that I wish women of today would look up to, instead of Satan, demon possessed celebrities like the